Loaded bases, Justin Kelly. How's it going?
What's up, man? Good to meet you.
Yeah, you too, man. So how's California?
It's 61 right now, and I'm a little cold, but not as bad as
Oh my,
what you're dealing with.
yeah, it sucks.
Not
It
as bad as
sucks.
the Midwest League in the middle of April with a couple turtlenecks on, trying to get warm. But
Oh yeah,
we're okay. We're doing all right.
nice. So what do you do? What is your job title, and where do you work currently?
Well, right now I am selling cars for drive time car sales
Yeah,
here in Bakersfield. Once COVID hit in March, in spring training in Mexico, got sent back. And then by April, May, just on the job market, nothing's
yep,
happening. They're kind of leaving us out to dry, which, I mean, it wasn't on their fault. They were just saying, hey, we might push back season. They had 3 or 4 times where they pushed the season back to the point mid-June. They said, hey, we're done. So hit the
dang,
job market, try to figure something out. Got lucky to get a gig for now and be doing that until, hopefully get a contract for next year. But we're still – we don't know. We don't know. We've heard good things. We heard positive things, but I know Mexico and just like California, we're shutting down and dealing with,
yeah.
more hospitalizations and more counties kind of going in the severe zone. So it's just a waiting game, man. Just a waiting game and trying to be ready.
So yeah, there's say because I know so Washington State we just I think we just bumped back down to phase one, so we're like shut down. We're we're about to everyone's gonna have to stay inside,
Yeah.
and it's
Oh yeah.
I mean, given the circumstance, I think baseball how this year kind of went, it was the best that could have happened.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, because there was a lot of guys that went like overseas this year to go play.
Oh yeah. I don't blame them. The KBO's going on. They have their playoffs right now, and I mean it's a lot of ex big leaguers you've heard of, and that's
Yeah.
kind of a dream for me is getting a shot to play over there in those Asian countries. Just they live and breathe baseball, and it's a once in a lifetime kind of thing. So they figured it out. I'm hoping we kind of do. I know with MiLB, Mexico League, and other leagues without TV deals,
Hmm.
that revenue is important. That
Yeah.
that
Very.
revenue
Very.
for fans attendance is important. And from what I'm hearing in the Pacific League, they're having capacity, maybe 25% capacity
Hmm.
stadiums, and owners are trying to push that. They're trying to get as many people in the stands as possible, but
Yeah.
the league's punishing them if they're going above that. They're actually punishing them, which it's for humanity and for the sake of what's going on. It's the right thing to do. As a baseball player, it's frustrating because no fans.
So that's your job. I mean,
Yeah,
like that. I mean, baseball is a lifestyle. Like it's more than just a game out there. I mean, like if you get told that you can't play and that's all that you've done for your whole life,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
tough.
And hearing a couple guys in town working out with guy with the Mets, my buddy Alan Winans, he says they're not going to go back until April, I think, for minor leaguers, non 40-man
Hmm.
guys, and what their season's going to look like. I know they're contracting the minor leagues down, and that was before coronavirus, but
Yeah.
I mean they're gonna have to play. Those guys can't take 2 years off.
No.
It's, why do you employ those guys if you're furloughing them again? So um, I think just looking back and trying to take advantage of this time and trying to be ready when you can be, and it's a lot easier said than done. But it's nice to be on the latter side of this, and
Yeah.
the beginning of it was all right. Stay 2-3 weeks away always. So
No one had any idea like what was gonna happen.
no, talking to guys, what did they do for? I can tell you what I did, but from April, May, what was their April, May looking like?
I mean, and so the guys that I've talked to, it was pretty much they found out at spring training, and then within 2 days they were in a car driving back home, and they had no idea. They didn't know what to do. They didn't have any
Nothing.
idea. Like from the teams had no idea. It was just sit and
No
wait,
idea. It
sit
was
and wait.
insane. And knowing those guys took the whole year off, and I know a lot of guys were trying to stay in shape,
Yeah,
and if I knew maybe April 1st that there wasn't going to be a season, maybe done things a little different. Instead of trying to be ready, just
yeah,
maybe focus on a different phase of training and trying to give yourself a longer calendar life to be ready for. But yeah, I got home. We were in Mexico City for spring training for a little bit. I got home the 17th of March, and then the Mexican-American border shut down like the 20th. So
Yeah.
luckily to get over before then. And, they sent us home and said 2 weeks. And that was at the time where we had no idea. And
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be a little longer than that. So I was like, I'm getting out of here as soon as possible. But it's a conversation with not even just baseball players. Every athlete I've talked to is just, and I can't control it. I'm just going to,
So yeah,
it's
there's
9 month
nothing
off
that we can
season.
control. Yep.
Yeah.
It's a
9 month off season of
it's
getting ready.
it's a little bit longer than baseball players have had in the past, like to get ready.
Oh, it's too much.
Plus, I mean,
Yeah.
plus like we're very like routine people. Well, I mean, like when you play baseball. So if you don't have a time schedule, that's hard pass.
Especially when you have that schedule is not
Yeah,
something you're
exactly.
used to. And for me, it was I didn't know what the hell I did at home from April to September. I
Yeah.
Mother's Day, Father's Day, birthdays. Being there for that was cool. So
Yeah.
I appreciate the time to take advantage of the time. I think we have, but at the same time, it did a little bit take away from my identity. Even to
Yeah.
this day, kind of what I am or who I am. I'm introducing myself more as a car salesman now than I am as a baseball player. And it's just kind of been a whole, just a full transition that it's nice to see what life after baseball is going to bring.
Yeah.
What I want to do, what I don't. I've learned a lot about myself outside the game, but
Hmm.
yeah, I tell some teammates now, I'm like, if I ever like complain or bitch about something during season next year, just slap me. I miss baseball so much. Like I don't care. The grind is the grind, but
The grind's real.
it's real, but it's better than the real world, man.
That
And
is what I'm saying.
it's you always say that, but like seeing the real world
Yep.
now a little bit, no doubt, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, so have you always wanted to be a professional baseball player? Or I guess, or actually, what's your dream job?
So going into high school, I was just kind of going around doing the whole thing, playing all the sports.
Yep.
And then I got specialized, junior year, senior year, pitching a lot. And then yeah, it was definitely a goal, but it was very lofty. I
Yeah.
didn't see it really, somewhere where I was going to go. I went to junior college for a couple years, and then for me, a big break was when I got my scholarship to Virginia Tech, and that felt like I belonged. I didn't do well there. I failed a little bit and transferred to UC Santa Barbara.
Mm.
And that whole opportunity was something that I'm still appreciative to this day. But it wasn't until maybe my senior year of college when I thought I can get drafted. And then once that happened, it was probably like everyone you talk to for non-prospects. It was just give me a chance. Just give me a chance. I don't care if I get drafted in the 35th round. So I got 33rd round. So I got a little bit of time to go to rookie ball. And yeah, man, I don't know if I'd want to do anything else. Eventually I want to get back and go into engineering, get my master's.
Oh
And
yeah.
that'd be my life alternate of baseball.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, it's fine though. I think that this whole journey, I don't know what I would do if I didn't have like some of these stories or like some of the
Exactly.
personality. I don't know who that person would be, to be honest.
I mean, because you learn so much like about yourself, like on like the road trips alone, and then traveling. I mean, because you're like with a big group of friends and like brothers, pretty much. And
Yeah,
then I'm saying because you travel over to Japan to go play,
that was a year ago today. How things have changed.
and what team do you play on a year ago?
I was Viva Mexico, baby. Yeah. So that that whole thing starts off with so
That's
2019.
crazy. So
And when I see those pictures of wearing green and red, my dad, because my dad's the white side of the family, like the
mm,
Irish German. My mom's the Mexican side. Her maiden name's Rivas. She's half. Um, and it was something that was joked around as a kid. Like, yeah, I'm I have some Mexican blood. No one believed me. I got a red beard and last
yep,
name's Kelly. And then when I got my release from the Braves, it was a situation of shit, I'm gonna go play independent ball, get a job, or figure something out. And then found out that you could play with the Pocho rule in Mexico as a Mexican. So if you have Mexican blood, it goes back as far as your grandpa. So my grandpa was born in Mexico,
Oh yeah, so
and that
you
gave me,
were set that
but
one.
those 2 weeks, me and my mom were going through getting released and going through that whole depression, confusion, not know what's going
Yeah.
on. I luckily had a really good support system. My mom and dad and my wife, they like, what the hell are you going to Mexico for? Like, dude, like you're going to Mexico? Like this is not going to be good. And the money was better out there. The opportunity to still
Mhm.
play good FX team, and then seeing the roster, Eric Ibar, Chris Carter, some of these big names, and it was like, who am I to say no? I got a bullshit with K-Rod for a whole summer.
Dang.
I met Bartolo Colon playing down there, and it started from me and my mom trying to get my birth certificate, my mom's birth certificate, my grandpa's birth certificate,
Yeah.
going to the Hall of Records, trying to get all those stuff gathered, sent over, and then once I had that, I was able to play as a Mexican because you can only have 6 imports
Uh-huh.
in the Mexican league, so those are always for the coveted,
Like 6 imports per team or the league?
per team.
Oh
Yeah, per
dang.
team. So mostly it's the Dominicans,
Yeah.
the big league guys. So I mean, it's being an import down there is not that much security because you have to perform
Yep.
because your spot is really coveted. So it was definitely job security for sure to be able to play as Mexican. And then we won the Mexican League Championship. And that night, I get a call from the Mexican Federation president being like, "Hey, Justin, do you want to play for Team Mexico?" And I mean, we were coming off the high of winning, and the next day I was like, "Wait, can I? Like, am I allowed to play on that team? Like,
Mhm.
the rules let me?" And they're like, "Yeah, you're Mexican blood. You have you have the Mexican blood. You have it with you. You were able to play because of your nationality and your background." So we luckily were in the Premier 12 with Team USA, the Netherlands, and Dominican in Guadalajara, and we went 3-0 in that to go to Japan, and then we got the bronze medal, beating Team USA, and to put it like the weirdest moment was for us. They said Team Mexico, for the Mexican national anthem, hand over the heart.
Yep.
For the other team's national anthems, don't disrespect them, but don't put your hand over your heart. Put the glove, so put the hat to your side. Star Spangled Banner comes on, the one you hear all the time from going to
Yeah.
kid. That's your national anthem, and you had to hear it as an opponent. And
That would be so weird.
I'm in my head, dude. Like,
S-
what the hell is going on? And like, just that remembering like how I felt there, it was a blessing because I mean, you talk to some guys. That Team USA team was prospects. It was those 40-man guys. Joe
Yeah.
Dell, it was Cody Ponce. Like we're talking some names that are going to be around for a while.
Yep.
And we beat them twice. One time we beat them in Guadalajara, and then we went on a walk off to win the bronze medal, and that's what
See
luckily
that?
got us. And
Dude,
we
that's so cool. That is
yeah,
so badass.
baseball's so freaking cool, man. And like tearing up and stuff, like kind of going off of getting released and falling and stumbling into that opportunity was pretty awesome. And being able to share that with some other guys who were Americans like me but playing for
Yeah.
Mexico, it was a cool bond to have. So we were luckily, before all this happened, we were doing Olympic training and getting ready for some of that. So we're just on standby and hopefully things work out going forward.
Dude, that'd be so cool. I mean, like it's super small of how, I guess it's a super small world how the baseball community is.
So small.
It is, let's say, because you were saying earlier that you were talking to Jonathan Perrin,
Yeah.
and me and him text on the daily. It's just
I
like,
met
it's insane.
I met him in Mexico,
Yeah, in
Instagram buddies, we
Mexico.
started
That's
talking. Yeah, and then he was Oklahoma State teammates
yep.
with one of my buddies with the Braves, Jason Hirsch. I mean, these stories go on forever. I mean, you
Yeah.
know a guy who knows a guy, and then if you walk into a new locker room and someone says, "Hey, you know so and so," it's like all right, yeah, like
Yeah.
I know people, like I'm getting acclimated, and that's one of those things that baseball world always does that. You like knowing people who know people, and It just brings that comfort for sure.
Oh, so
So
yeah, it's so back in 2007, I played in a tournament up in Cooperstown, New York, and there was so one person doing the podcast. He's from shoot Illinois, I
mhm.
believe, and he was there the same week I was. And
Yeah.
then also a kid that I played with in college who's from Hawaii, he was there too. And it's just it
By the way, I'm jealous. I never had the chance to go to Cooperstown.
ooh.
That was always one of those ones that our teams never went there. But I just had a conversation today about a couple of guys who did go.
Yeah.
It's always one of those things. Like if you went, you definitely remember it.
Oh, I'd
Um,
say that's easily like one of my favorite baseball memories. It's just
I
that
had
week.
a story like that. When we were 10, we went to the Cal Ripken World Series, and a guy named Trevor Gott, is Lexington, Kentucky. He shoved it up our freaking ass, and then he played with the Angels, and he was in the Angels organization the year before
Uh-huh.
I was. But I had the chance to meet him, and I was like, "Yeah, man, I don't know if you remember me, but when you were 10, you were the best pitcher alive. Like, I remember you from 2003, and those things stick." So
Yes, I
I
do.
think, and it's the personalities too. I think, part of me is just kind of the openness. Is you bullshit with guys all the time, new
Yeah.
guys, new people all the time. So you're always acclimating to new groups of people.
Oh yeah, no doubt. So was it pretty easy to communicate with the guys on your team for Team Mexico?
So what helped was already being immersed in Mexican culture from that year, the end of 2019, and you do learn a lot about the language when you have to order it at lunch or you have to speak it with everybody, and
Yeah.
definitely a thing where the Mexican fundamentalists and the nationalists that were in charge of the team, they want you speaking Spanish. They want you doing it. And if you
Yeah.
don't do it right, just try. Just try. And I tried and I made a fool of myself, but they respected it. A couple other guys, there were a lot of English speaking on the team too. So they definitely had translators. But it was one of those things that they did such a good job of making us feel comfortable, even if we
Yeah.
weren't comfortable. They're like, hey, we just want to win. One team just want to win. You guys might not be from this country, but you're children of this country, and you are now, and you always will be. And the nerves I had going into getting released from the Braves to my first week into the Mexican League last year I was scared shitless. I didn't know
Yeah.
what I was doing. Health, don't drink the water, don't go outside, learning how to speak
There,
Spanish.
there's a lot of don'ts in there.
Yes, exactly. And now I want to say I wish I did it earlier. Obviously,
Mm.
but I would all that hesitation I had before definitely went outside the way.
So yeah, it's dude, I would so cool like to go play in like a whole different country.
That's why, like, for me, just the chance to play like KBO or in Japan, one of those leagues, or even Taiwan, um, you know,
Australia, you can go there. You can go to shoot. I mean, there's a lot of places to go
everywhere
play.
for sure. And it's like you said, baseball world's small, and having those connections and talking to people through all this.
Yep.
The people who are playing, the winter ball leagues, I know some guys who just really feel blessed to be playing right now.
Hmm.
Because there's a lot of guys who want to be playing, and whether
Yeah.
they're going through protocols with the testing or the face masks, like I think most players are adjusting well because they feel blessed to even play, just to even get a year in, and some of the big league guys I know, it is what it is. Like no one's
Yeah.
complaining because everyone's doing it. Everyone realizes it's a lot bigger issues right now. So our little job we have of playing baseball, it's a blessing to have right now.
So yeah, there's a lot of people that have no jobs.
Yeah,
I mean, like the minor leaguers, they didn't even have a season. They had absolutely spring training for, I mean, if they made it there.
and some guys even they said, hey, your hotel key cards aren't going to work tomorrow, so you guys go wherever you got to go. Go home. Here's your $300 travel check. Or I don't know how much I think the adjustment would have been a lot harder for me if I was, coming from the actual minor leagues, just
Mhm.
because the financial burden's a little bit more there.
Yeah.
And everyone's had that $1,200, $1,300, check. And then I lie every year in the minor leagues. I lied about how I got home. I told them every year I was flying home when I was with the Braves. I just got my own flight for $300. I pocketed the other $400 because man, $400 to a minor league guy is
That's a
huge.
lot. Yep.
It's huge. So that those guys really getting a little bit of a short end of the stick, but some guys got invited for those 60-man taxi
Yep.
squads. Some guys didn't get invited at all, and they haven't had eyes on them in a year. So just getting film, trying to get behind rap sodos or get some kind of analytic numbers, and it just kind of is predicated on what your facility like is at home, and where you have connections with and where you're going.
Well, yeah. I mean, like with like the pay, like with the minor leaguers, they don't even have enough. I mean, like not saying that they're broke, but like they don't even have. I mean, like, cause they have to figure out like their own places, like to go lift, and then like their own places to go throw, and then if they are from like Florida, Texas, California, like where it doesn't snow compared to if you're from Minnesota or even like up here.
Dude, I was broke. I was broke when I was even the beginning of 2019. So could not imagine um, the burden you have because one, I gotta eat. I gotta try to make sure me and my family are good, and
Yep.
two, how am I going to get better as a baseball player to still stick
So yeah,
around?
because you have to figure out on your own how to perform at a top elite level, and they're not helping you do that,
Yeah,
and you work for them.
it's a lot of mental toughness because
Yeah.
now it's like, what am I getting ready for?
Yep.
And that's a question I talk with some buddies working out here is what's our what's our deadline? What's the day we're ready by? Because every spring training is be
That
ready
would
by
be
May 1st.
hard. That would be mentally draining, like by itself, because you'd always question yourself, like, why am I doing this? Like, what's the point?
The
Like,
purpose isn't fully there if you don't have a full. But that turns into developing good habits.
yep.
There's gonna be a lot of guys come March, April who are ready,
So
and
yeah,
then some guys who aren't, and
there.
it's gonna show.
I've talked to both. I mean, I've talked to like the guys that have just took months off, or I've talked to guys who are just like just going,
Yeah,
and it's. I mean, like I'm curious to see like who shows up and who doesn't.
creatures of habit, right? I mean,
Yep.
the guys who work out during season, they're getting ready, they know how to handle the routine. They probably just crushed it even more. And then some guys, and it's not just baseball. Like we were talking about. Had some time to talk with a couple buddies who were in the CFL, Canadian Football League, and
Mm,
they're not having a league, and they got to be in shape to get their ass kicked,
yeah.
every week. So it definitely is a perspective thing. Like I don't have it that bad. Look, other people have it just as bad as me. Not for me, and on athletic terms, not for me. But then you look at it beyond athletics, and it's like, I mean, if I get a real job, I'm finally jumping in the real world, and I realized how lucky I was to
Yep.
play a sport for a living for a while.
So
So
yeah, I mean, like, is that's like one of the big things that I like want to focus on is that like the guys in the minors or that go play like independent ball or overseas that it's you have to absolutely love the game and you have a vision of what you want to do
you have to. You
or just
have to
goes down.
because if you don't, if you get this gray area of I'm gonna work my butt off or I'm not gonna do anything and I'm done playing. And if you're done playing, that's everyone's personal choice. But that middle area, if you think you're gonna keep playing and your work ethic isn't what you had it during
Yeah.
season or what it takes. And I think, those years in college, those years in the minor leagues, you see guys who work, you see some of the talent you're against. Um, just because you don't see them this year doesn't mean that you could be closing the gap to them or
Mm,
you could be widening the gap. And it's kind of just the ability to trust to trust what you're doing, and then the moment of truth is going to come. Whenever we do get the clearance to play fully, that moment of truth is going to come. Some guys are doing that right now, playing winter ball, and they're raising their stock for getting picked up again,
Yeah.
or lowering their stock, and just trying to make sure that they can handle what's going on.
Oh, it's we will see who shows up to play in 2021, and hopefully there is spring training because I'm going down
Yeah.
for
Yeah. Are
sure.
you going to go to Florida?
Nope, I'll go to Arizona.
That's the one to go to.
Yep.
That's the one.
Yeah, I went to so when I lived in South Florida, I would call into work and I would go to spring training games. It's like $8 and I can go watch like baseball.
You can
And
go to like 4 games in one day. I only had one spring training in Tempe with the Angels. Was 2017,
Mhm.
and Scottsdale, Tempe. It's not even just the lifestyle nightlife, but
Yep.
having friends and other teams you can hang out with.
Yeah.
And then when I went to the Braves in Orlando's great, but
But everyone's
now,
so far away from each other.
and you wake up at 6 a.m. to go to the field, and you look at the list, and you're like, oh, I'm pitching the 7th inning game in Sarasota. You won't be back until 7 p.m. compared to a scrimmage in spring training. You're back in Arizona. You're back 2 p.m., 3
Yeah.
p.m. So your logistics is just way off. And when I first got traded over to the Braves, one of my first thoughts was like, besides excitement and
Yeah.
being ready, but after coming down, I was like, shit, I gotta go to Florida. Like, I
Yeah.
gotta be out there. It's a little different of a spring training environment, but yeah, it's definitely a different world. And talking to people who get drafted by one team or the other team over there, they are so envious
Yeah.
of those Arizona guys. Always so envious.
For sure. I've
Yeah,
heard that exact same thing.
I
That's
mean,
wild.
it is what it is. For I guess for you, I guess I got a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So with all the people you're talking to,
Yep.
um, what's the consensus on when they think they're going to start? When they think things are going to go down?
The same answer that you have.
Okay. Okay.
No idea.
I can only gotta laugh about it because it's funny how no one has any
No one
idea.
knows. No one knows. I mean,
Not a single soul.
I'm not even sure if there's a MLB schedule for 2021 out yet. And usually by now they have it out.
Yeah.
They don't have it. So it's no one knows.
Talking with coordinators or talking with some of the GMs, and they're touching base with guys. I know they're having conversations trying to get them ready. They're still on
Yeah.
programs, but like I said, there's just
Yeah, no one.
no March 1st goal line. There's no March 1st be ready by this moment. So it's don't know if the season's even going to be in April or May, or if guys are going to get invites to big league camp. I mean, or if they're going to have camp like it's normal time.
Yeah. I mean, or if they do the June to July, then July 1st, opening day, 60 games.
Taxi squad.
Yeah.
I hope they give those non 60-man guys.
Yes.
They
They
have to
should
play.
they should play. Yes.
They
Yeah.
have to play. There's no way you guys can or they can just not let guys play for 2 years and still call them employed by your
Well,
organization.
so I learned that the term for minor leaguers, you are a seasonal intern or a seasonal apprentice. So
Apprentice.
yeah.
That's for tax purposes for
Yeah.
the money. Yeah.
Yeah. So therefore you don't have a minimum hours that you have to work. You make this much. It's
I saw the Baseball America article. I don't know. I think it was maybe a week ago talking about they were going to increase
yep.
salaries for guys, and I know they're cutting down teams, which I don't know how you feel about it. It was
Uh,
crazy to me to
I don't
go
I don't
from
like
rookie
that.
ball to advanced rookie ball. There's a lot of levels. I definitely think that you need that many. You need 4 levels. Maybe some people cutting out an advanced rookie
I
ball.
think it's like the opportunities. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people in the minor leagues,
A lot.
but I'm not. I don't know. I mean, it sucks. Like I feel like that it would not be fun. Like I mean, getting told that like we're not like you aren't on our in our organization because we're just cutting the whole team.
We're cutting bait with 20% of,
Yeah,
our overall roster.
but at the end of the day, baseball is a business, man. It's a business, and you're a seasonal apprentice for tax
And
purposes.
exactly. And then you one day you're the guy who sees the it was always the Grim Reaper was the for the Angels and the Braves. Every spring training was the intern would come in and be the Grim Reaper. He'd be the guy to call people in to the office to get cut. And then my first spring training, I had a couple buddies, and his name was Tyler. And Tyler would come in, and he would be the guy to be like, "Hey, so and so, come to the office," and everyone knew what that meant. The whole locker room
Damn.
silent. A couple people were like, "Man, he's coming around. Like, you better not come for me." 2 minutes later, he comes for that guy, and I'm just sitting there like a duck, like just like hiding, like
Oh
making
shit.
sure they come. But one day you're the guy who does it. So
Yep.
and it's for me it wasn't a surprise, but it was something that it's hard to take that in stride.
Yep.
It's very hard because not many people get released and go, cool, I did all the baseball I wanted. I fulfilled my full potential.
Yeah.
Someone you always want a little more. So that was the conversation I've had with guys too. Is like when you're done, you just want to be ready. You want to be done. And I think the coronavirus, there's not much closure. I mean, for
Nope.
me personally, there's not much closure.
There is no closure because you can't control it, and no one else can either.
Hmm.
It would be I would
And
be go I'd be going to sleep every night like, what the hell do I do tomorrow? Like, what am I doing tomorrow? Like, am I gonna get cut tomorrow or what?
yeah, and it's a paranoid kind of work that can definitely fuel you. But I guess looking forward, it's nice to know that okay, well, some guys are gonna get their spots for next year, double A, triple A, whatever,
Yeah.
based off of now video of what they've been doing the last 12 months, not based off their 2019 stats, which, based off the last time they saw them, some guys will have to be a little more creative to not only get a job, but, beat out other guys when the whole year sample size is gone. So it's going to be such an important year next year for so many people's career. So
Yeah.
many people's career is going to be so important.
Well, so and then also at the end of this next year is when they redo the CBA, like for the major league union. So then that'll change stuff too.
Yeah. Yeah. The business is
2021,
gonna move
man.
on. Yeah, the business is still gonna move on. There's gonna be people always newer, throwing harder and hitting ball farther.
And hey, and every year they do throw harder and they do hit further.
Yeah, I'm over trying to work out at the facility doing, some pull downs and stuff. And there's this local kid, he's a Fresno State grad, and he's sitting 94, 95. I'm sitting there trying to chug as hard as I can. But another thing that I feel lucky to not deal with is like if this was my senior year of college, if this was 2016 when the season got canceled, man, I'd be getting a job 4 years ago. I
Yep.
was a late pick, and I depended on those playoff innings
Yep.
in our Santa Barbara run to get drafted. And a lot of fifth year, fourth year seniors got their heart ripped out this year. And for me, it was even the fall of my senior year. I had no idea if I was going to get drafted. I didn't never got drafted before. Had a couple questionnaires here and there, but I
Yeah.
know a lot of guys who their career just unfairly ends because of not getting that sample size or not getting that platform in front of fans. And then we had five rounds. I know the MLB has been trying
Yeah.
to cut down that a little bit, but from 40 to 5, dude, like
That's let me just do my
incredible.
quick. I know the answer, but I'm going to verify it.
12 and a half, or 12.5.
35 times, well, I mean that's like 1,050 kids.
Just not getting there, not getting what I want. they deserve that. They deserve that chance, and
Yep.
they deserve that ability to and it's one of those things where it's not when it happened, it's not fair.
Yep.
It's not fair to anybody. But being a 21-year-old, 22-year-old senior, I definitely feel for those kids a lot. 25, 26-year-old guys still doing it. Those chances to get signed, play independent ball. I know there was independent ball playing this summer, and there was still some ball played. So, like I said, to get a chance to play still it's just a freaking blessing, man.
Well, it's like because those stories are the ones I love. Like, I mean, yeah. So like the seniors in college, last chance, and you get drafted, and then it's almost like you will say yes. Like there is almost 100% chance that you're gonna be like, let's do this. I played for 5 years in college,
Yeah.
not just for fun, because you still had a dream.
You would give up anything to be riding a low A bus in the middle of Burlington, Iowa, on a crappy, bus on a bad road, and that grind is real. But there's so many kids that want to get there
Yep.
and want to be there, and then it's very hard to close that book. And I know a lot of people have had to. So I just trying to control what I can. It's cliche, but
it's true though. Very true.
Yeah, and it's a weird thing now to be side hustle. What you're passionate about, and then now having a job. Like I work 40 hours a week, and all of
join the club.
Yeah, right. So it's I come home and I'm like, what I do before this? Because like this is my life now. Like it's such a contrast from what it was. But now all the extra time I have is getting ready for, betting on myself, betting on, taking that chance again to go out there and, hopefully, get a contract and things are good next year. And we're still in contact with my team in Mexico, and, still going to try to be making some videos and then trying to be out there sending out to people. So having that ability is still there. Those goals are there. Just definitely a big roadblock that everyone has. So
hey,
what to complain about.
Big things are coming for you, man. Just keep on grinding that out.
We'll see. It's a till then, man. If you want a used car, come on down.
I have a 2020 Silverado. We're doing.
Oh, okay. Well, trade it in. You got.
I can get like 4 used cars from you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll get you a good deal.
Deal. So let's wrap this up a little bit. So let's say that a college kid, senior year, he wants to go play professional baseball, but he doesn't think he can do it. What do you tell him?
I mean, if you don't, whatever it is, you're probably right. So if you think you can't, you're right. If you think you can, you're also right. So
manifest, man.
That's manifest that shit, man. Make videos.
I have that tattooed on me. Manifest.
What does it say?
Manifest.
Oh, nice.
See, every morning, manifest that.
I'm a big believer in saying it like to my friends, like,
yes.
All right, I'm hitting 95 before I leave. I'm gonna lift this. I'm gonna do it because it holds you accountable for it. You don't want to be, not a man of your word. So I like to put that out there. Make videos, man. Be creative. Try to get in contact with people. Make the decision first. If you want to do it, full ass it. Don't half-ass it. If you don't want to do it, cool. Go figure it out. But if this coronavirus thing has taught any baseball player, athlete, is life's way bigger than this game, and the game will pass you. Whether you like it or not, the game will pass you up. So just trying to be able to be on the right side of it. And if you do want to do it, just fucking go after it.
Yeah, that's exactly nailed that.
Amen, dude.